to be good at golf, not make a double bogey.
Colin, I'm looking for a score here.
There's no score, just without a double bogey.
I think Colin Morikawa's explanation of what good golf is pretty solid. I would take it one step further, though, and say that good golf really has absolutely nothing to do with any score. Not your 9-hole score, your 18-hole score, and definitely not a double bogey here or there. To me, good golf is simply enjoyable golf, and that, for most people, means getting the ball up in the air and hitting it in the general vicinity of the target. I've followed the Jim Venados Golf Academy path, and it makes it incredibly simple to secure good quality contact and hit the ball with good alignment. So follow along for 9 holes. I shoot a 44 in this 9-hole span, which is not very good for a 7 or 8 handicap. But I had a great time because every single ball was a draw. Every single ball went up in the air, and every single ball went in the general vicinity of my target. I almost think of good golf as advancing every single shot without ever having to go look for your golf ball. In the Venados Academy, Jim really teaches us to avoid bunkers at all costs, and I understand why. It'll cost you a stroke more often than not. The challenge is, some courses, the designers thought of that. So on this hole, for example, there's a huge hole off to the left-hand side of the green, big bunker right, falls off a cliff on the back side of the green, so there's really no safe place. Pretty much everywhere is going to cost you a stroke. One option here would have been to just play to the apron and remove the bunker and the deep hole off to the left, try to get up and down for a par. I had 2 holes on this 9 where I didn't drive the ball great. Balls still found the fairway. They went low and relatively short, but that drive there wasn't one of them. Hit a solid drive there, then just laying up on this par 5, getting to within 100 yards. I thought this shot right here, this wedge, was perfect. I thought it was going to be all over the hole. For some reason, came up short, must have kicked right and found its way into the bunker. I was in disbelief that a gap wedge did not get to my 105-yard target, especially when it was a downhill shot. But nonetheless, play it out of the bunker, catch it a little thin. Make sure we rake our bunkers. That's important. There's guys behind you that want to play good golf, and they don't want a lie in a bunker from somebody's footprint. So rake your bunkers. The good news is we ended up getting up and down after my poor sand attempt and save ourselves a bogey here and avoid double. On to the next tee, and this will be one of the better swings of the day. Keep the chest nice and closed, really smooth swing, kept my weight still, and the result is a nice tight draw right into the middle of the fairway. Hit this one about 250, 260, leaving myself just a nice easy wedge in from about 110 yards. And we put it on the green. Jim Venados wants us to practice 3 and 30-foot putts. And here's a perfect example why. A lot of your lag putts will be 30 feet, just like this one is. And I'm getting them pretty dialed in. Now I just got to work on my 3-footers because I'm missing some of those. But I was fortunate to make this one secure a par. Worst shot of the day incoming, and it's on the easiest hole in the course, a par 5 that's reachable, unfortunately, so I put myself in a bad spot. It trickles into the fairway, but really puts me in a weird gapping considering that the fairways are split, and now I have to play through a wash area, which I land right in the middle of, and I'm 150 out here. And I'm going to freeze this shot because you can see my chest opening. It's opening at impact and instead of staying closed through and past impact. This results in a pulled shot with a slight overdraw and leaves me in a bunker yet again. In this bunker, I wouldn't be so lucky. I get out of it, but I barely get it up onto the fringe, requiring an up and down for yet another bogey, assuming I can get up and down from here, which should be a piece of cake. I hit a decent bump and run here, pulled it a little bit left, maybe misread it. But unfortunately, I miss a short putt here. This is one of probably 4 or 5 3 to 4 footers I'd miss on the day. And this leaves me with a double bogey. And that's painful considering that this is the easiest hole on the golf course. This is a birdie hole that you should leave here with nothing less than par. And so that one stings on the scorecard. On to the next hole, which is a really tough par 3, about 190 yards. Be interested in Jim Venados' feedback on this one, as I feel like my weight was good and my chest stayed closed, but still overdrawed and pulled it slightly over into this bunker. So I put a better stroke on this one and put it to within about 5 feet here. Unfortunately, my putting woes would continue, and I'm getting pretty confident here. I know what I need to work on once I get off the course. This next hole is a tricky par 4. It's about 400 yards and a narrow fairway that slopes right to left, so a draw can run out of the fairway pretty easy. But we land right in the middle of it and have about 150 yards in. As you can see at contact, my shoulders are deep closed. So it produces a nice draw, just as Jim Veneas teaches. Problem is, I didn't manage this hole very well. There's a bunker on the right, and I should have played more for the fat of the green and missed the green left, if anywhere, and that would have assured me an easier up and down. So I'm in the bunker again, and fortunately I put a really good sand shot on this, and I got a really makeable par here. Unfortunately, old Scotty Cameron let me down again, and we got work to do on the practice green after the round. Next hole is a tricky downhill 170-yard par 3, and I love Jim's commentary on this. It looks like my chest is closed, my weight's forward, but even though the ball draws, I push it out to the right. So maybe this was just an alignment issue. At either rate, I end up pin high, and I've got a nice little gap wedge pitch to see if I can get up and down for par. I put a nice swing on it, and it gets pretty close. And once you know it, the putter lets me down again, and I'm not able to score, and I secure a bogey, and we're moving on to number 9 to see if we can't par the last hole. I am putting like a sucker today. Brush it off and focus on the next shot, which is a drive into a short par 4. We put it out into the fairway and leave ourselves a nice little gap wedge in from about 100 yards. While I'm closed at impact, I'm not closed beyond impact. I'm opening pretty fast, which results in the pull. Now I've got a 30-footer. Fortunately, I've been practicing a ton of those, and I'm getting them pretty dialed in. A kick in for par here leaves us with a little bit better taste in our mouth. I've told you what I think good golf is. Drop in the comments below what you think good golf is. Would love to hear it.